I just remember that it was, she and I had a lot of flack about it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
He was taking my sister.
Ah. Oh. Were you going to beat him up?
I was going to do something bad. I don't remember what it was, but she consoled me and told him. Bernard was enough politician. He could work with me too as a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, you know. But I never forgave him for that.
Bad man.
Taking my sister.
Bad man.
Yeah. But it turned out okay, right?
What?
I mean, you and Bernard got along okay, so it,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
well, he was quite distant most of the time.
Yeah.
Because he was 10 years older than I was. He was up here, and I was still trying to think down here. You know,
No,
by the
he
time
was
I got up here, he'd gone. So it's just amazing how families can survive under austere circumstances. And we create the austere circumstances trying to live in the virgin environment.
Yeah.
God, it was hard to believe.
Well, I had the distinct pleasure of being able to take Mom on a memory lane trip when I still lived in St. Louis.
Oh yeah.
And Andy was there, and for some reason we ended up down in Murray, Kentucky, where he was at university, Murray State University. And it's right across the border from Tennessee, where Camp Tyson, Tennessee was during World War II.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's an elephant graveyard. We're going back to, you know, after all these years, we're going back to the old graveyard. And that was where they were stationed in their first duty station when Dad got called up for World War II.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he was in barrage balloons, and that
Yes,
was all that,
yes,
all that Tennessee and Kentucky farmland out there, which at that time was used mostly for raising strawberries. They were shooting up these barrage balloons and taking them down and repairing them. They were basically blimps that they sent up with steel cable so that airplanes couldn't fly low to do bombing runs. If they flew low, they would rip their wings off them in these cables. It was anti-aircraft stuff. So he was into that and training people for this. And when we went over into Tennessee over the state line, just a few miles, when they pulled into a gas station, we're looking right over some old train tracks that no longer exist. And it's called Puryear, Tennessee. And Mom says, "You see the house right there, a two-story house?" I said, "Yep." He said, "We rented the upper story of that house when we were stationed down here in Puryear. And that second room over there is a bedroom window?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "That's where you were conceived."
Yeah.
And Andy's sitting there listening to all this. So.
Daddy, let's conceive.
No, he was old enough to know that. He was in university then.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
You'd already had that in vocabulary.
He was commissioned in the coast office.
But Mom gave that little tee-hee.
Yeah, that's where
That
Daddy
little
was.
tee-hee. Yeah.
That's where Daddy was conceived.
Yeah.
I want to hear the story of how Grandma and Papa met.
Well, he's working on that.
Okay.
But he doesn't remember much.
I don't know where they met either. But I know they used to go down to Mr. Hurt's place on the James River. Some guy named Mr. Hurt.
Yeah.
Some older guy owned some property.
Lived on Cabell Street.
Yeah.
They go down there to
Cabell and
spoon.
Nip.
I think they did. I think I went swimming there and stuff. There are pictures of them in the water, you know, doing stuff. But socializing, I think that was, you know, they did stuff with older people because Dad was older guy. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Steve Hurt.
Mhm.
Bachelor.
Yeah.
Never got married.
Yeah.
He had a great big old castle like home, one of our, at that time, fairly affluent
Close
neighborhoods.
streets,
You
yeah.
know. He walked everywhere he went. Didn't have a car. But he lived up on the river, and that was what, 3-4 miles of that. He'd walk across the bridge and up the river road every day. Morning, back up on Capitol Street and then.
It was a beautiful house. I mean, it was kind of one of these craft-like houses. sitting
Oh
up there.
yeah.
Was this your dad?
Yeah, no, this is an old man friend of theirs.
Oh
And he
man,
had-
the architecture around
Yeah.
the columns, God, it was upscale, man. It really good. For an old bachelor, that's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
That was
He was wealthy, I guess. Mom always said he had money, but I don't know where. it
Pop
came
Pop?
from. No, Mr. Hurt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where he got it from.
No.
He always never hurt for anything. He was always willing to assist you if you needed 15 or 20 cents, a little above, five. That was big money in those days.
I was gonna say, I'm not laughing at you, but you're laughing too. Can you imagine going up to somebody and say, can I borrow 15 cents?
50 cents, a buck and a half. You live off of that a week.
There you go. But you didn't know anybody had enough money that you could borrow it from them, right? No.
When I was born,
Yeah, you
Mr.
know,
Hurt opened a
$5
bank account up
a day,
for
let
me.
alone 50 cents.
Really?
Yep, he put $100 in a bank
He
account.
did
Yeah.
not. Well, he was filthy rich then. He put $100 in a bank account. for
1943 when I was
baby
born.
money.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wonder whatever happened to that $100.
I don't know, if you had invested that then,
Knowing Mom, she
wait,
said
there
she'd
wasn't
spend
any
it on
Google or Yahoo.
my college education.
Probably,
Yeah. Oh, you remember Miss Snyder? C.L. Snyder?
Yeah, the church.
Dad's
Boss is
boss,
what-
boss,
yeah.
but up 3 or 4 levels
Yeah.
above him.
Quinn Marshall Company.
Yeah. She educated me.
She did.
Yeah, she did.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think how that thing worked. Oh, she was a very prominent member of First Christian Church. He was her husband, but he wasn't quite as dominant and interested in the church itself, per se. But she was interested in anybody that showed some potential. I guess I had that possible, you know. And she gave me 3 years tuition at $150 a year.
really?
I would believe it.
Wow.
And it paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it paid, man.
Yeah.
Hold that one.
Oh, yeah. It,
Anybody want anything while I'm up?
Water, please.
that's
Bring
right.
my Diet Coke back, please.
God,
It's in
that was
there.
a long time
I'll go
ago.
get it.
I don't know where, if you just tell me where it is, I'll.
I remember one moment, Mrs. Carl said, "Ralph, you need the money." I said, "Miss Snyder, that's a loaded question." She said, "How much you want?" I said, "Well, I got my tuition and listed off several things." I said, "She must have had much." I said, $180. $180 in those days was, Jesus,
Fortune.
a whole life.
Yeah.
Next Sunday, she gave me a check for $180.
From her.
From her, not from him. Her family had money to start with.
Right.
And old man, the CEO, took it, invested in Quinn Marshall,
Right.
in Boomerang.
Yeah.
And that's where Dad got his job at. Dad was never in the upper crust, but he always,
It worked well.
he worked well and we never starved.
Mhm.
Never didn't want anything, but he never did get any great salaries or anything like that from anybody. It was just, you know, we used to call that the good old days.
But you know, she was a good woman then. She
Yeah.
was looking out for
Oh,
you. And good-
absolutely. God has given the earth.
Walker,
Yeah.
very comfortable.
Yeah.
It was really a real jewel. It's a whole passport before you if you don't want it.
That's all right. That's all right. That's what it's supposed to do.
Other ways to sing. That.
You can adjust some of it. Take it down.
I was there for.
You remember Mrs. Frederick Swain?
Yeah. This is all church people. You're talking. This damn woman's social circle at the church is going through.
We were in that church every Sunday morning when the door was open and when it closed.
A lady Bible thumper circle.
Well, he just told me that Miss Snyder, who actually paid for 3 years of your college, 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I left to get your water.
That's
very
generous.
Yeah, $180.
That's
Wrote
huge
the
money.
check, and that paid his tuition.
Yeah.
Three times.
That's all it cost back then?
And He,
But how long did it take somebody to
he
earn that?
never,
Yeah, back then, I mean, average income, if you made a few $100s a year, you were wealthy, right?
Maybe a little more, but. Ralph, can you remember about that time, do you have any idea what the minimum wage was?
35 cents.
There you go.
35 cents an hour?
There.
And what year was it?
Yeah, and then it was raised to 60, and then it went up to 75. And Mrs. Snyder's, we went to $1, $1.25. I'm not paying it.
Yeah.
And government sent all these agents there. and I said,
Even if it
"You
was
will
$1,
pay."
that's $50 or $40
No, I won't. I don't
a
own
week,
it.
right?
I just sold it.
Gross.
We sold it.
Even if it were $1.
$1 an hour.
You
40
didn't
hours
sell
a
it.
week.
You gave it
That's
away.
$40 a week.
Government
$40
pays.
before
Well,
tax.
Pay anybody
$106, about $100 a month.
an hour.
Yeah, and what that
1200
did
a
is
year.
put granddaddy on the street.
Yeah.
And she
But it
paid.
was free.
There must have been a
was
bunch of other people that
$180,
got on the
so
street
put it-
too.
That's
In
a lot.
relation, it's
That's
a
like
lot.
3 months worth.
Well,
That's
it's not
two,
a
that's
close
2 months
business.
worth of wages.
We were just talking
Dan
about
went with it.
a dollar wage,
And he had
minimum
to-
wage, and he was saying it was 35 cents.
He
So.
looked up and
Back
found
then,
the
$1
old
was
Kentucky
like probably
manufacturing.
$30
on the-
right now.
Remember, I wore their clothes for
That
years.
Lucky
hammer
for
in
him,
those
he'd
days,
been
that
in
would be about
mercantile
probably
business
$10.
for 20
Not
years.
even that.
and
No,
he
that's
knew
all
what
Dick
he was
Tracy
doing.
stuff. Things
And
that
he,
small. Cameras had to
kept
be like
food
this
on the
big,
table.
and the lens came out on
I
that
went with him
accordion.
a couple of weeks just for the ride.
I'd go on the day trips.
Brownie
with
Yeah,
Hawkeye,
that's
and you had to
Jim
look
and I
down
would
in
go
it
on
like
day
this.
trips with him.
That's
Flash bulbs that
carry
pop.
the
You had to pop, you know, like
sample
all the old
cases
movies
in.
that you like to
Oh,
watch.
yeah.
And the reporters have that big flash,
unpack
and
the
the
news
bulb has
from
to be
news,
ejected.
goods coming in.
I remember those.
Back up the road. Never would let him have it. They had to send it back.
What he took out, he had to pay for.
Yeah,
Is this we're
that's
talking
right.
about?
The samples,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sample.
What type of
He had
samples?
to-
dry goods,
Paper.
shirts, slacks,
Oh.
underwear, all of it,
Shirts and
clothes,
pants,
all
the
clothes,
match and all that kind of stuff.
work clothes, casual clothes, jeans, stuff I wore to school. My first peg pants were old Kentucky manufacturing, but the shirts were just god awful.
But Eloise made you choose from there
Yeah,
because she got
Mom,
a
I don't want to
discount.
wear those shirts. And she said, "You were going to get these because we get these at a discount." So I got into high school with this white shirt with big blops on here and a line running down. It looked like something out of a. It wasn't a Monet painting, but it was.
That would have been too cool.
That was just. It was Art Deco, and I wore these shirts in there, and I don't know why they ever manufactured them. But the kids would look at me and go, "What happened to you, Range? You run into some red dots?"
Maybe the lighthouse for the blind made them
Maybe
and
they-
designed them.
Yeah, maybe they did. But,
Did it toughen you up being made fun of?
eventually ended up selling dry goods at Leggett's department store. That was my part-time
Yeah.
job. And I could get clothes there. At
We don't
10%
even know what
discount.
dry goods are.
Yeah. Old term.
It
Dry
really
goods is
is.
like,
Well, yeah, it's a
like
term we
clothes,
don't use
TVs,
today.
VCRs, and
Not
stuff
wet
like that.
goods. No, dry, dry
These are
goods
the
at the
wet
time
goods.
was mostly clothes.
Are these the wet goods?
These
Yeah,
are the wet
liquid.
goods.
Yeah, you got a wet good.
Trying to think who that Leggett's top salesman Dad worked with, didn't
Okay, I can tell you, Grump,
it? What?
Mr. Grump was the manager.
No.
Ashq still worked there.
Mr. You were rubbing your
Ashq,
mouth.
your son-in-law's.
Right,
yeah.
okay, oh.
Dad, he
Ashq.
still worked there. Ashq,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Ashq.
He,
Um,
your man sells the paint all over the wall. I never seen such a persuasive personality in my life. He kept that first floor going.
Did you work there too?
Oh, no, no.
Oh.
He had interesting jobs, just to refresh my memory. You had something at Goodyear Tire and Rubber where you recap tires and stuff.
I mounted them on wheels.
Yeah. Then you had a job with Esso Oil delivering oil.
Fuel oil,
Yeah,
gasoline to the service station. High and mighty job.
You were a
Worked
truck
day and
driver?
We were
night,
sitting high
holidays,
anyway.
Didn't make it do.
You was a
Service
truck,
station was out of gas, you'd better put it in the ground. No,
so you was a truck driver?
yes,
Cool.
no,
See?
no
This
time
is
and
stuff
a
you
half,
find
no
out.
straight time for everything if you work 24 hours a day.
24 all the time. No overtime,
And
no
it
nothing.
actually
No
reminds me
overtime,
so much of
right.
Grandma's
Then
grandfather.
you
It's actually
ended
one of
up,
those
after we were in
Watch
Europe
his
working
mouth.
for GE, you went
His
to
mouth
GE.
looks a little bit like hers.
Yeah.
And you were with GE for a long time.
Yeah. 30 years.
30 years with GE. And that's Nancy too.
Oh, yeah, she
Movies,
is.
as you see.
Well, we met, yeah, she worked at the bank.
Right. And then you retired or left GE, and Nancy left GE. Where,
She
Carl
went
worked
to HK Porter. She went to HK Porter from GE.
HK Porter.
Yeah. They made electrical transformers and stuff like that.
Swedish company bought GE's two-way radio, right?
Yeah.
And then whatever happened to the company after that?
They sold the line to some smaller outfit, and they tried something else, but it didn't work, and they just sold it.
So what now is in the GE plant? Do you have any idea?
Liberty University.
It is Liberty University.
Where is the old GE plant?
Liberty University campus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're at a,
Big, a growing, big organization.
we're at a place that,
Jerry.
Falwell.
Falwell. He was the founder.
Yeah.
And they had Jonathan and what was it, Jerry Jr. and a daughter.
Yeah.
And the daughter and Jonathan, I'm trying to think. They went separate ways. The daughter, she got a law degree at the time. Jonathan,
isn't he a pastor?
one of the, Jonathan, he's a gospel teacher right now. But Jerry Jr. is the president of the university.
So he took it over.
Yeah. But Jonathan is the carrier of the word, and he can preach a sermon that will make you believe anything that's possible. And the college had 12,000 people at one time.
No, what is it, 60 now? Some monster.
Yeah, God, it's huge now. 50,
They have a retirement community as part of it.
yeah, 45 or 50,000 students on
Wow.
the campus. Huge. God, it's awesome.
We were at a place that sells wood slabs, and they, I guess they found a log. It was buried under 30 feet of dirt and whatever at Liberty,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe Liberty Mountain, and this guy got it, and it was like black gum, and they cut it into these big thick slabs. It's like solid, you know, it's like maybe that wide,
Huge.
but
But that university
they had a piece of it
is
down
all
there.
over.
And I guess
But-
they pull logs out of
100% of the
rivers,
city
and
is nothing.
you know, they can be buried and they
University.
won't rot.
Towers,
I didn't know.
libraries,
But
No?
research centers. You know it, name it. It's not 2 or 3 members. It's 300 or 400 or maybe 1,000 students. Big religious school. They teach all these aspiring young ministers. And something in the paper the other day that they merged with a border. I forget what it was. And everything they do just turns to gold.
Did you want to
Yeah,
take off
I
your
guess.
tie?
wish that happened to me.
Yeah, don't we all? But, old Jerry worked for it. He worked for the old man. He had them in there day and night,
Good
and he
man.
did some knocking
You're
on the
used to hot
doors
weather.
around the town. He didn't send nobody out. He went out. And when you opened the door and that's Jerry Boyer, you better damn show up Sunday morning. He'd find out why. Because he had talked to you that week and blah, 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 blah.
You better show up, right?
And then he developed his disciples with the same attitude. And not only did he continue to go out, but he sent 50 other people that ran in it. But I don't think anybody in this group at one time didn't get a a visit from one of these representatives. I mean, they weren't ashamed of a damn bit of it. No way. You ain't gonna cuss one of them down. They'll walk in your house and read 10 pieces of chapters of the Bible to you before they leave.
After you cuss?
Yeah. I'll tell you, they were dynamic, still are. Amazing. And,
What happened to Sweet Briar College? It went broke. They're closing it
yeah,
down.
well,
That whole thing was
the ladies
weird.
have gotten together and they're gonna save the college and blah, blah, blah. And they're doing this and
Anybody
that
need
and the
anything
other.
out here?
Such a beautiful,
Good.
real estate.
Pretty land don't make a school.
No,
I'm gonna shut this, but I'll come visit.
hate to see
Oh,
it
good, okay.
go into subdivisions.
Yeah.
I mean, did somebody make money off of trying to
The
close it?
Alumni Association is trying to save the college now. There are several millionaire women in there that are
Got money.
underwriting it now. So they're
That's
starting
just
back
fun.
again this year, and I think they got 500 or 600 students. I don't know about the senior class or whether they even lost them or not. They may have. At one time, they just said, this college is bankrupt, we're through, that's it.
That was strange.
And then,
All of a sudden, they're broke.
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, somebody said, no, it isn't.
Yeah.
And they knocked on your door and you give $100,000, knocked on your door and you give $1.5 million, and they hang it. What are you gonna give? $750,000. And first thing you know, they had $10 million to keep it.
Know what's going.
Most of it's on promissory notes or some actual contribution. I don't know how they did it. But it's open doors this fall.
Well, I kind of, like I said, I hate to see that educational purpose go because it was such a beautiful piece of land.
Oh, it's
The
a
land was
marvelous
beautiful.
campus. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yes, it's one of the greatest campuses around.
Yeah.
It was strange.
And the lady left it all to the university. It was supposed to be there forever in her will, but
It's in our will.
she didn't say she underwrote it forever. But so that she got them the land and the titles and all the rights and privileges of the university, and that sounded pretty good. But it wasn't too long before somebody had to come up to underwrite these things that she wanted done.
Yep.
She gave him a little bit of money in the whole thing, but a little bit of money in the whole thing is one thing, but a whole lot of money in the whole thing is something different. So right now they are opening the door this fall. Yeah, underwritten completely for 1 year, and after that, then maybe another downturn.
Lynchburg College told the girls that anybody who wanted to transfer to Lynchburg College.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
could.
yeah.
So they-
Yeah, all the other colleges, and of course, once it declared bankruptcy, the student body just, said we don't need any education from a bankrupt institution that has no credentials. You know, if you were a Briar College a graduate, what's that? That's nothing. But
That's a
if you
shame.
would, if they have $100 billion institution flourishing with research here and there and all these tentacles out doing different things around the area, that's another thing. But just to say that you're from Briar College and they couldn't back up what you said, wanted, or what kind of education that you gave them, that's it. So right now, that's turned around, and there's money being left in wills and gifts and whatever to keep it open, start it back up. It was down for 2 years.
Well, I don't know if they lost all their faculty or not, but that's always hard to get them back.
Now they gotta start with a whole new faculty and up 9 yards. But it's questionable whether it will survive. But some of those women are just determined. I've got my education out there, and I've done this and that and the other, and I will continue to do this, that, and the other. And if you get enough of them with that attitude, they'll be able to underwrite the actual expenses. That just runs the college. That don't project the college. You got to have lots of money to project your institution into the future for potential ladies. And I think they're going co-ed. I'm not sure.
No, most schools are.
And then no.
Randolph Macon's
They're
co-ed
holding
now.
true. Yeah, they're co-ed. Oh, I thought they were.
They're still
co-ed.
going to remain a
They're trying to hold true to the.
college.
That's okay, you can survive that way, but you
Yeah,
gotta have a
yeah.
hell of a big endowment.
Randolph College did go co-ed.
Yeah, I know they had to.
It used to be Randolph-Macon Women's College in the city of Lynchburg, but they determined with Sweetbriar's example that you're not going to survive if you don't get the men in here too, you know. So Sweetbriar
It's just
says,
kind of a reality, I think.
It is.
Sweetbriar says, we appreciate the men, we need a lot of them for professors, but we're basically a female institution.
Well, the original devise from the donor, the woman who created the school,
Yeah.
in her estate says it's for young women.
That's right, young women only.
No, young white women.
That's right.
It said young white women. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had to get a Attorney General's opinion on that. So
Yeah,
they
they
went
did.
black.
Mm-hmm.
But Randolph College has been fairly successful with it.
What was the impetus of the decline of Sweetbriar? Mismanagement of money, they didn't have people.
The jury's still out on that, I think.
It's all the above.
Yeah.
It's all of it. Nobody knows.
Somebody was
All of a sudden,
mismanaging something.
as I understand the story, all of a sudden they discovered they had a deficit.
Like last minute too.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
It's like, what do you mean we have a deficit?
That
Because
sounds so
supposedly these
fishy.
guys were
It does sound
managing
fishy.
it,
I think we're gonna hear
overseeing it,
something
but I
a
think
little bit
somebody
more later.
screwed up royally.
Yeah. Well, they had just finished building renovating some buildings on the campus too, so it didn't look like there was any problem, and all of a
It
sudden.
never looked shabby.
Oh, no.
I'm wondering if somebody was trying to take off with some of the funds or something.
I think we're gonna find there's something going on
Something.
that was a little.
I've never heard of this college until January, when I met someone that I don't work with anymore. She just was leaving, and she said, "Oh, it's a Sweetbriar," and she was telling me how gorgeous it is. And then I think this was in the news immediately after.
Well,
I've never heard of
you
this.
just learned about
I've
it.
never heard of this school, and now I can't stop hearing about it.
That was a famous old school. I mean, a famous law case called Sweetbriar College case, where the state of Virginia was challenged by the trustees of the college who had to admit black students because of the Higher Education Acts and all the federal money that was available they needed for tuition assistance and all that stuff. So they had to get the state of Virginia to a legal action, actually brought a federal court case against Virginia because the Attorney General represented the Sweetbriar College trustees to overcome the restrictions in the trust. And the trust simply said that she was creating this college for young white women. And that was it, white women. I think young would be today out also.
Right.
Yeah. So they, court said, yes, that can come out. And that then gave them access to all the federal money they needed.
Let's face it, we are living in difficult and unusual times.
Sure.
And a lot of people expected to bend to meet the need, and some of them might bend, but a lot of them broke. So the ones that broke took it all with them. And they're right back where the need, more than a bend, it needs some underwriting and a lot of it.
Yeah.
And these, some of these big institutions take a lot
A lot of cash.
of cash.
Yeah. It's a big business.
But,
It is a business.
I'm in it. Yeah. Are you working in colleges too, or you're still with
I'm
the city?
still in City of Lynchburg.
she's in,
Yeah.
What do you do for the city?
I
she
work
still
as a
teaches
teacher.
the 5th grade.
Oh, okay.
Gets them started and then turns them loose. You know?
You gotta watch her.
Oh, you know
Well,
what?
this has
Oh, yeah.
been
Oh,
very
good.
nice.
Somebody.
Yes.
To chat with you people.
You taking off?
We
Yeah,
gotta hit the
gotta head
road.
out to the
I am so glad we got to spend a few minutes. It's been great talking to you.
Usually